how to use an essential settings for the flanger pedal. This particular video I'm using the iSet flanger, which they've kindly sent us a whole bunch of pedals to try out. So this video is kind of a review of this, but also looking at how to use the flanger to greater effect. This one works with a DC adapter, doesn't work with batteries, hard metal casing, quite cheap compared to what most flangers are, so check the link out in the description. I was quite pleasantly surprised with this one. But what does the flanger do? Well, this one, you can see it's got the picture like planets on, so it does kind of create an otherworldly swirly swishy effect. There's such a word as swirly swishy. But what it's doing is splitting the signal, and it slows one of them down, and it creates like a swirling effect, which you can hear on Keep Yourself Alive. And Brian May used tape slow one down to get that effect, but you can recreate it with the flanger. Eddie Van Halen used flanger on some of his guitar work, which we'll look at shortly. But that's essentially what the flanger is actually doing. Now there's different settings. This one has a button for colour. Sometimes that's referred to as feedback. Range, which is sometimes referred to as depth, and the rate, the big button on the front there, which is sometimes the speed. So you can slow as it's slowing the signal down, you can the speed of it, obviously. This one actually has an extra switch on for hard and soft. I'm just keeping this on soft. It seems to be more effective when I try it with that, and obviously the big silver button for turning the thing on and off. So if we were going to look at something like Ain't Talking About Love by Van Halen, if we turned everything quite simply to 10 o'clock, and you can hear that. So it adds texture to the note. Well, if we didn't have it on, it just adds something. Sometimes you'll hear metal players using obviously it's not used on that particular track, but you get the idea. And it just gives it a texture otherwise not achieved. Now the next one that I've got up is psychedelic, and if we turn the rate kind of down so that it's pointing at 8 o'clock, the range, if we have that at 11 o'clock, and the colour at 10 o'clock on the range, 11 o'clock on the colour. I'll pull this off cleaner, and you can hear like there's like a wobble. again it adds that nice, it's like kind of chorus with this like a swoosh running through it, and it works well with psychic. And it just adds that, like we say, texture to the notes. Now we've got one I've called extra wobbly. Now if we turn the rate all the way up so it's pointing at 2 o'clock, the range at 1 o'clock, and the colour at 10, staying at 10, you can hear that's a lot more chorusy. Do that again. So you can see that's quite effective. Sometimes people fall into the trap when they get a chorus, a flanger, of completely going over the top, and the effect's just starting to like suffocate whatever it is that they're playing. But it can be used to quite subtle effect. Now another one, if I turn the overdrive back on, I've called this red hot lead. And what we're doing there, we're putting the rate at, say, let's see what I'm doing, 10 o'clock. Put the range at about 9 o'clock and the colour at 9 o'clock as well. Now I like this one because it adds a little bit of something. If we say it played something like the solo of Bohemian Rhapsody. When you, it just gives that extra texture and tone, where if I didn't have it on, it would sound like that, where with it on, and it works well because that's really subtle, because it's everything's turned down, but it just, I like it because it, like I say, gives you your notes a bit texture. So we come to the keep yourself alive. Now if we put the rate at 12 o'clock, the range at 11, and the colour at 11 as well. So everything's on nearly halfway. Now these settings are not set in stone. they're just like a rough guide, because every flanger is going to be different. Use your own ear. Sometimes people like everything written down as if it's carved in stone and must be obeyed. But if you put them settings on, you can really hear so really handy. I'm quite impressed with the iSet one for what it does. I'm just plugged straight into it, and you can see it, my Vox BM1, only a small amp, and I'm getting some really good sounds out of this one. Sometimes the microphone doesn't always pick up what's in the room, but all in all I'm quite happy with that. And tell me what you think, what you use, and as always, thank you for watching.